Hey guys, I'm Tiffany Foy. Welcome to the Rambling Gypsy Podcast. And today we are doing things just a wee bit different. We are actually in Cabo San Lucas. We are at Boots on the Beach, Casey Donahew's gig.
Yes.
And this is Bart Crow, everybody.
Hello.
And this is our first time to actually meet.
Yes.
So this is my first real organic interview, show, video, whatever you want to call this.
That's the way I like them to be.
Nice.
Yes.
So usually what I sit around and talk about is a day in the life of my shit show, because that's pretty much what my entire life is a big ginormous shit show. I have a ton of animals. I have my hands in a little bit of everything. But yeah, so this is a totally different gig. My business partner's down here. He did his podcast yesterday, and you know him, Steve Trevino.
Yes.
Renee, Captain Evil. So we've been friends for a very long time.
Awesome.
And so, yeah. So today we're here, and let's tell everybody, who is Bart Crow? Where do we start?
I don't know, man. That's a big one. Just a dumb kid from Maypearl, Texas.
Maypearl, Texas.
Yeah, that
big old town.
huge town. Big,
So
big
many people.
Gangster city.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Metropolis.
Mm-hmm. Crawling through the wheat
just,
fields. And
yes.
the
Just
whatever.
grew up
Yeah.
working for a local farmer named Ray Campbell.
Nice.
And then at 18, graduated high school, went to the Army for 3 years.
Really?
And then left, got discharged out, went to right back where I started, farming again.
Farming. What were you farming?
We were rolling, I used to go on wheat harvest every
Really?
year. And we'd start in Hillsboro and go all the way to Nakona.
Nice.
And I did that from the time I was 13 until 18. Because I always tell my kids, especially my 13-year-old, I'm like, man, when I was 14, I was driving a flatbed pickup with a 34-foot flatbed trailer and 18 rolls on the back from Nakona to Maypearl. No driver's license, no insurance, nothing. Just work to be done.
Yep. First thing I drove when I was 9 years old was a tractor.
Yes. And so got out of the Army in January of 98, was right back where I started, and was like, well, I have a GI Bill. So I went to Tarleton for a year.
Nice.
Had a fantastic time, rodeoed for the school.
Nice.
And just kind of was letting my grades slip a little bit. Because right out of high school to the Army and then coming back at 21, I was catching up. I was making up for that lost party time. And so I'm like, well, I don't need to piss off this GI Bill, so I'll go home for a summer. And then that turned into 3 years. And then one of those days of waking up and be like, I am right back where I started. So I went back to Tarleton in 02, graduated in 04. Brooke and I started dating in 03. I was playing music in 03. Graduated, bounced around a couple different jobs, had the unfortunate side of getting laid off.
Gotcha.
So I'd like to tell myself I was a good employee.
Yeah.
I didn't get fired.
Yeah.
And so
It's different.
When we had that
It's
second,
a different feeling.
second layoff in December of 05, we flipped a coin, and we were toying with, like, because Bingham just went to LA and had a lot of success, and my wife was in film, and we were dating then, and we were kind of all, pretty locked in together, and we picked Austin. And so I was actually headed to New Braunfels.
No doubt.
But once we got to Austin, and then of course as soon as we moved to Austin to focus on art, every gig I had was north of Austin.
Really?
And so by the time we get home on Sundays, I'm like, the last thing I want to do is drive 45 more minutes.
Right.
So I think I secretly kind of always had an idea, like, I'm not leaving your house.
Yeah.
I'm just going to start paying half the bills. And then I tell the story, and I hate that she's sitting there because she may remember it a different way, but I may have told the story.
She's coming in. We're going to ask some questions.
I've told the
Bart's
story
wife's here,
so
Brooke,
many
you guys.
times that this is how I remember it. Like, her aunt and mother were down helping decorate the new townhome that we moved in.
Okay.
And her aunt just made this off-the-cuff comment. I wasn't even there. Like, I think it's ridiculous that Bart's going to move 40 minutes down the road as much as he's gone and pay double rent and this and that. And her mom goes, yeah, that doesn't make sense. And that
you
kind of
never hear that happen,
that
first
kind
of
of
all.
lifted the umbrella.
First of all, whose mom goes, you know what? Let's bring him in.
Well, at the time,
but that's awesome.
In our defense, we were, 24 and 28.
Okay, so yeah,
like,
that does make a big difference.
Babies.
You weren't 16. And
right. And so
hiding in the closet.
It was almost like this cloud of taboo lifted off her, and we just didn't talk about it.
Right.
And I just kind of stuck around.
Yeah.
And then, now it's 2024, and we've been married. Just
here you guys
celebrated
are.
17 years of marriage last month.
That's
or I guess
epic.
today it's technically August, so 2 months ago.
Is it? Shit.
And now we have 4 kids, and we live in South Austin.
I love that. So
there's the cliff notes of my ridiculous.
That's so
adult
short.
life.
I mean, that's like I can't wait to hear the full on, and then what happened, what really happened was, and then, so music, you just didn't,
we always
were you just sitting around a campfire one day when you were, where is it, in the family?
No, it was in the family.
Where did that come from?
My grandfather had a band for 60 years.
Really?
And he lived in Lubbock.
Okay.
And, they just played, he was an older gentleman, and they played lots of Bob Wills.
Yeah.
And Farron Young, Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Older Willie Nelson. And then, so my Paw Crow was always in music. Then my father was a lead guitar player.
My grandfather was a Paw too. You don't hear that so much.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And now my dad's a Paw to our children.
Same deal.
So,
Same.
And then my dad was a lead guitar player in a band, and they just played top 40s, 80s country music. And
so it
back
is
in those days, it was, because I'm a son of a drywaller. I'm a carpenter's son.
There you go.
And so it was just him and his buddies, and they would play the American Legions, the VFWs, and street dances and things like that. Just, I would say, just a 20, 30-mile radius around Maypearl. Yeah. But they had a pretty good little following, and the whole town, so it'd be like all us kids that ended up going to kindergarten through graduation together.
Right.
Somebody was in the band or best friends with somebody, and so it'd be like this gaggle of kids with one babysitter.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we'd fall asleep and then wake up at home the next day.
Right.
And so with that, I just always kind of tinkered with guitar a little bit. Never songwriting until I just always loved music. And growing up in Maypearl, and we lived 5 miles out into the country, so when my parents, blue-collar family, they worked all the time.
Right.
So I'd stay home with my older sister and my baby brother, and we just listened to records and cassette tapes and 8-tracks. And so music was always something. When I was in kindergarten, my sister was in the 5th or 6th grade. Yeah. And she sang a Charlie McLean tune and won first place in the talent show. And I sang John Anderson Swinging in kindergarten and won 6th place. So
I sang that in 3rd grade talent show.
Yes.
Look at us just having little things in common.
Yes. And so music was always something. And then, of course, being in the Army during peacetime, a lot of downtime at the barracks. And we just... my roommate, he was my bunkmate in basic training, and we're still really good friends. He's a rapper out of St. Louis, lives in LA, or lives in Reno now. And so we had this thing where we would go to Blockbuster Music and order out of the catalog. Like, we would write down music, and I was buying a lot of, like, a friend of mine had just introduced me to Robert Earl Keen, but I was buying, like, Ray Wiley Hubbard, Jerry Jeff Walker, all these CDs, and he was buying, like, Machiavelli and Biggie and all this stuff. And I had a 6-disc changer in our barracks, so we put 3 of his rap records CDs, 3 of my country, and just push shuffle. And I actually took Brooke and my family to Reno 2 years ago, where they could meet Rod, and we still just like talked about all that.
That is so cool.
To this day, his favorite song is LA Freeway.
No doubt.
And I'm a big Tupac fan.
Oh yeah.
And so we text all the time. We're
That's
just like
awesome.
Yeah. So but I kept a journal when I was in the Army, because I was very, very homesick.
Yeah.
You don't leave a 300-person town that you're a third-generation person in.
Right.
And next thing you know, you're 4 states away.
Yeah.
In a big man's world.
Right.
And so when I went back and went to Tarleton, I was like the dude who would play guitar, but I didn't do the party thing, like we're pulling the guitar out to party.
You're right.
Because I'm in my own head. I'm still at 40, almost 40. I'll be 48 next month. I'm still in my own head. I don't do that, even though I miss a lot of opportunity by not doing that. But I think I'm too cool for school. You know. Even now, like Brooke will get upset with me when we have cookouts or something, and she's like, "Y'all never play music." I'm like, "Yeah, because this is how I interpret it. Hey, everybody, stop what you're doing. Yeah. Look at me. Yeah. Listen to me real quick." But she's very good.
That is totally a different way to look at things, because I've been... we have property that is across the street from our resort, and then our resort is gated, which is in New Braunfels on the Guad. We're in between 2nd and 3rd crossing, which is... Steve was still in LA. Steve and Renee were still in LA, and that's how I met them. They came down here and hopped in a old school bus and drove down and pulled into my place. I think I had just gotten the keys, and it was an absolute shithole at the time. And born and raised in New Braunfels, my aunt and uncle have L&L, which is the largest place on the river. They've had it for 50 years, 51 now. And I would never ever would even think about pulling into this place, and then now I own it. And of course I've revamped and redone the whole place, but that was how I met them. So there's a lot of singer-songwriters, there's a lot of things that have been written at our place because we'll shut the gate and they'll come down there and
I think it's beautiful.
Do that, but that's a totally different gig where it's you guys all sitting around, but there's been many a times where it's the one, but yeah.
Right. And I
don't know that I've ever really heard it put into that perspective, but that makes perfect sense.
Well, and to loosely quote Brooke, you're the only person that thinks like that. Everybody else is just enjoying it. Yeah. Other people love to hear this.
Yes.
It's just, I'm an overthinker. I'm a Virgo.
I am very much an overthinker.
100% Virgo.
But it's always after the fact. It's kind of, I have a thing called the Gypsonary, and in my Gypsonary, we talk about one of the very first episodes. It's a situation, and sometimes it turns into a fluctuation, and that's when, and it's always I don't overthink at the right time. Yeah.
I do on things like that where, and she's told me before, she's like, you may not call it a gift, but other people that can't do it see it as a gift. They want to hear that. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm in my own head.
Right.
And I miss out on a lot of cool opportunities by doing that. And I don't mean to. It just, it's naturally just who I am. And after the fact, I always be like, hey, I don't judge you on decisions you make. Don't judge me, even if they're wrong. Like,
right.
And not that she does. It's just, because I'll have that minimal regret. Like, damn, I should have.
You should have, would have, could have.
Jammed in and played last night.
Yeah.
But I also enjoy music. So if someone else does it, I like to sit there and absorb.
Right.
Because I'm like, I always hear me.
Yeah.
I know what songs I play. And I can hear my songs all the time. I like to hear other people too.
Right.
So, I don't know.
I appreciated Wade saying last night when that's what's different about this festival here. And I do have some questions for you on that. I'd like to hear your aspect on this festival versus different. But it was really cool to hear him because we've known each other for a long time. And to have him say, it's really cool to sit back and just enjoy, because you guys don't get to really hang and see each other all at the same time, because you're doing your gig here and he's doing his there and y'all are all over the place.
Yeah.
But at this particular festival, it's really cool because y'all do get to sit and actually enjoy each other's music, and it's
and you get
like
to hear
an
new
old school
stuff
kind of
old stuff.
And what have you guys been up to? And we haven't had time to visit, and so it's really cool for him to point that out and put that in perspective, because we as outsiders and as big fans, and we don't think about you guys not being able to hang out all the time and talk about your up and coming and what's really going on and what have you guys been up to and how's the fam, and
everybody goes in this bubble and and then I don't live in New Braunfels. I live in Austin, and I don't have a musician close to me. I mean, text-wise, yes, but like I don't have a neighbor. I don't have a buddy.
Right.
And I have 4 children, and I take the hat off when I get home.
Yep.
So like I'm not a musician anymore.
Right.
I'm a dad. I'm a taxi driver.
Yes.
And I'm a dad.
Yeah.
And not to a fault from a parental standpoint, but from an artistic standpoint, to a fault, because I'll shut it down. Like if I noticed a couple weeks ago, we had 3 weeks between band gigs, and I didn't even get my guitar out of the Sprinter.
Of the deal. Yeah.
I was just like, because I'm in dad mode. And I think that's a good thing parentally and spiritually. But then I'm like, oh my God, I haven't written a song in 6 months. Oh my God. And then I'm not going to call any names, but somebody will remind me, well, you haven't played your guitar in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think you're just going to pop a song out? And, and she's totally right. And then I'll have weeks like last week, the big boys were all at a camp out in Camp Grady Spruce in Possum Kingdom. So we just had the little guy. But he went to Vacation Bible School, so I had 3 hours every day and ended up writing 4 songs.
Nice.
Like, it does work when you actually.
So what
practice.
age are the kiddos?
13. The twins are 10 and 4.
Love that.
All boys.
So
all towhead boys.
I have 3 boys, and with all 3 of my boys came a football team or a baseball team or big in sports, and all of those boys are the boys with the boys. I have more of their friends that are literally considered my children than my own. Like, one of the funniest stories was my oldest is 30 and just had my first grandbaby, and I literally have been begging and begging and begging, and it is, oh my gosh.
Good for you.
I knew I needed this in my life, but I didn't know that I needed her as bad as I did, and it is literally.
Oh, and you got a her too.
We don't have hers. I told Gate, I was like, what were you doing standing on your head? Like, I don't know what to do with this. What do I do with this? She's going to be mean as hell.
Right.
Yes. I mean, mean. Yes.
Not spoiled rotten at all either.
Not going to tell you that I already have a truck and a flatbed trailer. And I went ahead and added the gooseneck that's being built, and it's pink and it's Dodge front. Yeah. So
As you should.
Well, she's got to put her cow in something. I mean, her dad's just not going to let her walk into that. I mean, her mom definitely is not going to, but she knows she can bring the cow to my house. But awesome. What were we talking about? We were talking, the kiddos.
Just kids.
So, the girl that is my co-host that is on my show the majority of the time is Kelly, and I call her Kelly Garnier, and she delivered River. Is that one of yours?
Uh-huh.
In Dell Hospital.
No shit.
So
She knows it was a traumatic birth.
it was that's why she was in there.
Wow.
So crazy enough, she
Because they were
texted
calling
me
out every code in the damn rainbow when River popped out.
she's
Me too.
I got goosebumps because let me tell you,
make me
she's
teary-eyed.
I'm telling you.
Stop that now.
Let me tell you, we do cry and we cuss on my podcast. I got the E and the Kleenex deals. Yeah.
Wow.
But so she's my biggest cheerleader, my biggest fan. She's my rock. She's my everything. And she actually delivered Drake, which is my grandbaby.
Awesome.
We couldn't be in there, and my daughter-in-law's tiny, like this one here. And yeah, so she was we had some drama, and Kel was in there back and forth through the whole thing, and she told Gage, my oldest, said, if you need me, I'm right here. And she was hugging Riley, and she said, if you don't see me, that's a good thing, but if you see me, I got this. And we talked about it on my show a week or two ago, and she was in there, and she said, she was hysterical, and she said, in the 30 years that I've been doing this, she said, it is completely different when your loved ones are on the table. And she said, I was like, I went into panic mode, and then I stopped, and I had to talk to myself and just zone in and just, really realize, I've got to do what I've got to do. But she said, it's just insane how it is different. But she said, I mean, she is the person. And this morning when she texts me, she's pumping me up, how are you doing? And telling me everything's going on. You can do this. You can, giving me my cheer speech this morning. And she asked me who I was going to have on the show today. And I told her you, and she said, well, let me tell you this story. Wow. And I was like, holy so pickles. Crazy. I cannot wait to tell them. So
yeah, because it was.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
I
because
will.
River's still making a lot of splashes every day, but it was tough.
That was the first baby.
Parsons came out, picture perfect birth, pop. Well,
yeah.
I'm sorry, probably shouldn't say pop.
Twins. So River was the one that didn't.
Jump up here, Brooke.
Okay.
Yes, come on. Yes.
So we had talons, so we had one, and then I got pregnant with twins.
Yeah.
And so River was our twin that it just didn't go well.
Right.
Parsons was first, and then River ended up having a short umbilical cord, and no one knew, and he wouldn't come out, so he got stuck in the.
That's what happened with my baby.
And it was like they were doing everything they could. Mm-hmm. They were, and he.
Like I said, they were code red, code blue, like the rainbow.
Yep.
And even the doctor, when another physician finally got there, she just deadpan was like, "Where have you been?
Yeah,
I've
been calling you."
Like it was a obviously very intense, but
and I can
everything's
see
flashing.
everything. And
right.
I'm trying to be a coach to her. I'm like, "This is cool. Everybody's got
yes."
it.
And so that's what she was kind of saying with Gage, because Gage is like, and Gage is my child that is the calm, he's the protector. Nothing is going to get past him to hurt anyone that he loves. I mean, he is, and he's saving everything, and he knows Kel very well. I mean, Kel's my lifeline, and she was trying to, that's when she said, I was like, fuck, I mean, I'm trying not to show this because she doesn't want. Riley's bawling hysterically the whole time. She had been since prior to, and yeah, and so it's really ironic how this all came to fruition. I was like, this is making this whole thing even more special, and I could not wait to tell you guys.
Well, I'm so glad that you knew her, but also that was probably worse because when they saw her come in, they knew something was serious. Yeah. I just knew and then that's breaking news.
Right, and so she had to literally go, Gage, I need you to, here's what's gonna happen. Boom, she grabbed Drake, and then when Drake came out, she was just as white as could be. She had sucked up all the ickies and the thing, and Kel was like, jumped in and did her part and did what she needed to do, and saved everything, saved the day, saved my grandbaby. Yes. And so when she was telling me this morning, I was like, oh my goodness, it's just wow, small world, right?
It is.
I mean, and crazy. This was not even, y'all weren't even in our hometown. This was at Dell.
That was at Dell.
Yeah.
So
right.
Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. So Parsons came out, textbook. but his lungs were underdeveloped, so he had to go to NICU.
Right.
River comes out, still, pops him back to life. He's just chilling with us within 2 hours, just in the room, like all right, he's good.
Even though when he came out, he was like completely limp. Nothing was happening.
And she was at the nursery nursing, and the doctor who had delivered town, so we'd kind of become a little bit friends,
right?
Acquaintances. And I was in the room by myself, and Dr. Nash came in, and she goes, and I just said, hey, thank you. That was so beautiful. Yeah. And she looked at me, and she started welling up. Yeah. She goes, I lost him. She's like, I didn't have him. In all my career, that's never happened. God was in that room, and God had something special for that young man because I didn't have him, and I could not have faced you and Brooke.
Right.
And she goes, I don't know how he's alive. And I'm just sitting there like, what? And like, oh, y'all look like the NASCAR pit team. Y'all flew in there,
seriously.
And everything was good.
And y'all want to know why Kel is my rock star. There it is, everybody.
Yeah,
I talk about it all the time, and that girl is more ways than one. I mean, she sends me daily inspiration things when we're not together, and wasn't gonna cry on this show, y'all.
I know. I was like, I wouldn't.
Okay, so now back about the.
So let's get out the guitar and let's do some. Forget the kumbayas or whatever. Yeah, good lord.
Actually, we found out later that during birth, because he was black and blue.
Yeah.
And then for a while, he didn't really want anybody to hold him. And at 6, this kid's got 9 lives. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
At 6 weeks old, he got RSV. And when it was really bad, and we almost lost him again.
Right.
And when they were in the hospital, they were like, "Oh, did you know he had a broken clavicle?"
No, they didn't do it. It wasn't that passive. They came in, they X-ray him, and CPS comes in to this room, and they're like, "We need to talk to you guys about he has a broken clavicle." And I'm like, "Whoa, hold on, time out." Stuck in the birth canal. She was trying to break his collarbone. She told me that, and she's like, "I couldn't get it broken."
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they're like, "Okay," and then they went and checked the papers, and I'm like.
Relax.
Pump your brakes.
Wrong house.
Yeah. And now
4 houses down, maybe. I don't know.
I promise you.
You're the wrong side of the county, bro.
If River was here, like where we were playing music in front of the pool.
Right.
It'd be like, hey, Bart, Brooke, River's on the damn roof. Can you please get him out? He's about to cannonball into the pool. That's
ironically, Kel's youngest, Rowan, is that child.
Yes.
Literally, if he is alone more than 1 minute, he is either tied someone together. He can't tie his shoes, but he could have every cord in here in a matter of 2 seconds. This Airstream would be tied up, locked in.
That is River
Mace
Van
would be
Coleman.
tied and not even know that he's tied. Take 2 steps and
That is River Van Coleman to a T.
Yes. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, that's.
So they're special humans. So maybe they.
How old is he? How old are the
10.
twins? Okay, so Rowan's 7. Yeah, but he's something. He goes into my house and tells all my little things he makes everything to his voice, and so I'll say, Alexa, can you, and she'll go, I'm sorry, I don't recognize your voice. And I'm like, damn it, Rowan.
He doesn't do it to my phone because I changed my passcode a lot, but he'll get on hers.
Oh.
Or I was cooking the other day, and he goes, hey, Dad. And he's talking to me, but he's doing this, but I'm not paying attention.
Right.
Opening my phone with the face recognition.
Yep, that's Rowan.
Little shithead.
Right before we left, he changed both my parents. My dad goes, River.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
He changed his face recognition to his. My dad was like, I cannot answer my.
Can't do.
My
Yep.
phone. And I was like,
that's him. Yes,
River.
I can tell every single step that he's been in my house, and they come over a lot on Sundays because we're at the river at my resort and just working my tail off 22 hours a day. We'll stay, and so Sundays is kind of like my chill day if I don't have to go and if we don't have a big weekend because I run the bar down there. And so he calls my pool in the backyard the frog pond, and he has since he was little, and so they come over to the frog pond. And Riley, their oldest, which is 14, he loves to cook, and I love to cook. Kel can't boil water, God love her, but we all have our gifts, like we said. Right. She's saving our babies. Yep, and I'm cooking for all the babies because I can't cook for one, but I can cook for 400. That's normal for me. But Riley loves to cook, and so he'll come over and he had stayed home. Kel left, and she said, I'm gonna go pick up Riley. So Rowan stayed with me, and he is driving her batshit crazy. Like, she's like, get off me. I just want to just relax and chill. And he's here and there, and he's into this, and he's into that. Right. And the next thing I know, he's got mosquito deal, and he's rewired my TV, and
That's River.
And then she leaves, and it's completely opposite, where we have redone it. Like, he changed my faucets for me, and I helped me do this and helped me do that, and then we went inside and I said, Kel, it's just it's so different when you're gone, because he hangs out with me, and we have the best time. He is the biggest, hardest child. I mean, his heart is just huge. Always wanting to take care of me. Everybody calls me Gypsy, and that's all my businesses have Gypsy, and I've been Gypsy for the longest time, but that's what all the littles call me. And he says, yeah. And Gypsy, what are we going to do next? And what are we going to do? Is River a lot like that, where he just needs, like, does he need a job?
Oh my God.
That's what he's like.
My big thing to all the boys
yes.
are like, don't ask what we're doing next while we're still completing this fun
this
activity.
Task. Right, yeah.
Or we leave the skate park.
Yeah.
What are we going to do next?
Yeah. We haven't finished.
The truck's not even cranked yet.
Right, yeah. Where are we going?
Or Dad, turn on your hotspot.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have my seatbelt on.
Seriously.
Like, pump the brakes.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, he is very much like that. You give him a task or get him one-on-one, and it is like, people are like, we just love him. And he's just got the biggest heart.
Yes.
He also just figured out how to set up somebody's TV, and there'd be stuff that I don't even know how to do.
Seriously.
He figures out how to do it all.
Yeah.
But he's also
minutes.
a typical boy because he'd be a shithead to his mama, but he knows he doesn't.
See?
That doesn't fly with Dad.
Yeah.
So we get different personalities
Yep.
too. Then with us having 4 boys, they always say 3's a crowd. If you take one out of the mix,
right.
anyone,
yeah,
they're all different. Or if you take one of the boys and go run an errand, they're completely a different human being. That it's like, who is this person?
And how far apart are they?
Who is this kid? 13, 10, and 4.
Okay, yeah.
But it doesn't matter which one you pick. They're just, Towns is usually pretty even keel, the 13-year-old. But the 10-year-olds, if you separate the twins,
right,
then they have twin personality.
Yeah.
They have individual personality.
Right.
They have in the group personality.
Yeah.
And then if you got them by yourself, it's just like they're just
totally different
sweet,
gig.
mature.
Yeah. All mine are 4.5 years apart, so I didn't ever have that type of a
dynamic.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, what we see now is the oldest 13 and the youngest 4. That 9-year difference. They're like Towns is Poet's protector.
Really?
Period. End of story.
Yeah.
Like, I can get on to Poet because he's being a little turd, and then I hear Towns, come here, bub.
Yeah.
Come here,
baby.
Tell
what Daddy do to you.
What's
so
wrong.
mean.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Like,
I got
I'm
you.
gonna get you next
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. You can run, but you can't hide. Yeah.
Right.
I can throw a chunk of wham. Yeah. It's one thing. I pitched for 9 years in baseball, softball, and yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, keep on running. Yeah, I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you, and it is gonna. And if it don't hurt, I'm gonna do it again. Yeah, yep. I'm gonna catch you. But so this festival. Let's go back to the music thing because I do have you travel all over, play. When we were talking about not taking the guitar out with the kid, do the kids ever ask you, "Hey, Dad, do you want to?"
Only if I'm cooking. Only if I'm
They want you
doing
to just-
something else.
They
That's
want you
the
to
only
stop.
time they want to play catch. That's the only time they want to play instruments, piano or guitar, if I'm in the middle of doing something else.
Yeah.
And so then, depending upon what that something else is, I mean, I'm still learning how to be a dad, so I have to be like, are you...
Yeah, seriously.
You know what? Yes, need to do this. Or...
I love that.
Again, it's mostly when cooking, and I'm like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
And then she'll fire and be like, I'll do it with you. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no. Now it's like
Perfect.
guilt
Let me
trip
put one on
everywhere.
your chalkboard right here. One
Yeah.
big mark. Yeah.
And so, but
Yeah.
the boys are all into music.
That was just
plays
about to ask
guitar.
that. I love that.
Rivers kind of loosey goosey. Parsons plays piano, and Poet's starting to tinker with the piano a little bit. So, long ways from efficient, but enough where like I've had them on stage with me.
Yeah.
We did a Coldplay song when I played at Saxon Pub last year.
Nice.
And so I had Parsons playing piano, Towns was playing guitar, I was strumming guitar, and then River was singing with us.
That is so cool.
But
Did you just
also,
love that? Watching that?
Oh,
Yeah.
I was a fucking wreck.
Oh, I can imagine. Yes.
And
I
but
was kind of bummed because my oldest has the most beautiful voice. Like, he can sing like a bird. He does musical theater and stuff, but he won't sing on stage with his dad. It's like...
He won't. He's 13, so it's that embarrassment phase.
It is. My nephew
But-
went through a stage like that. He's also a musician, and actually both of them. And his little, this child is. We don't know why Tyler came out. We have no, because it does not run in our family whatsoever. But Tyler came out. We built him his first stage when he was 4 years old, and we had little VIP passes we made in the neighborhood, and it was a really cool deal for. I call him Baby Chet. He's not a baby anymore, and he's still, it is what it is. He'll always be my Baby Chet. This kid can slay the guitar, and so with Tyler, he would never. I remember one of his first gigs real gigs was at Tavern on the Green in New Braunfels. I don't know if you remember where the Tavern
yeah.
used to be.
Yeah.
Okay,
Played plenty of
but
shows there.
he would lay his guitar down flat in his lap, and he would have whatever he was going to play would be stuck in the whatever that thing he's called, and he would look down and he would play his guitar like this because he would not, but his voice is ridiculous. But Chet don't give a damn. Chet's up there and he's like, and what we're going to sing is, and we're going to rock on it.
I think Townsie's deal is like they've been in theater, and the two twins and Towns, they've all been leads in their child group. It's a big theater group in Austin, and I think they have that thing where you've got other people on stage, or there's so much other going on,
right?
That whatever solos they have, it's kind of like quick,
right?
And they have the comfort of other people, but that and half that Towns didn't really pursue the arts, at least not yet, and so now at 13 shoving him out there that you have all that embarrassment and thought, like, if he was younger, wouldn't give a shit,
right?
Like, let's just go for it, and then then
Yeah.
if you're doing that so long, you don't know any different.
Right.
So I think that's a little bit of that adolescence embarrassment. Don't want to embarrass myself. Kind of shy.
Well, and Dad's also Bart Crow.
And then,
then there's the...
We just talked about it. I talked to her, it was either on the flight or last week, where Towns is so artistic and in arts, but he's also about to be in 8th grade, and he plays baseball, he plays football, he plays track, he plays basketball. So, like, his social status is sports.
So you
and
just
he's
hang
a
out
jock,
on the couch all the time with all this...
But when he's home with us,
like, I
he's
don't think
all
you
in
missed
the
one
arts.
sport.
Yeah. Oh, everything.
Believe me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, when
Yeah.
fall baseball's going on,
Oh.
so it's baseball from September to December.
And then you have fall ball.
But he has football at the same time,
Yep.
straight into basketball, and then you go to spring baseball, but there's track too. So
Mine
5
played
days
select,
a week.
and then in baseball,
Yep.
and then because they were 4.5 years apart. So then this one was moving on to the bigger things, and then this one's coming out, and so
Yeah, and that's just Towns. And the twins, one's in jiu-jitsu. They're both in theater sometimes. They're playing recreational baseball.
Right.
And now one of the twins, River, is going to play football with Pop Warner, and like it's just like,
yeah.
holy shit, man.
You know.
Oh, I do know.
Yeah.
I do know where you literally have to tag team each other and be like, hey, and then he's on the road and.
Well, that's why this year
so much.
It seems to be like Randy, Josh, Casey. The three of us have had this separate conversations about this is the first year where each of us, respectively to our careers, have slowed way down.
Right.
And it's the slowest year I've ever had.
Really.
And for that reason,
Yeah.
it's like there's so much going on.
Right.
I need to be relevant in the music scene,
Right.
and want to keep making music, and so beyond words grateful and pinch myself all the time that I get to do this. But I'm a dad.
Yeah.
My dad missed out on a lot of shit
Right.
because we were so poor, and he wanted to make sure no one else was poor.
Right.
And he has a lot of regrets, and I'm like, man, I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, when you got to go, you got to go.
Right. Yeah.
So
I think we're all kind of blessed in our generation that we're able to. Some of us got that, and it was instilled into us as we parent, and but so many people didn't, and they're still like, I've just got to keep plugging away, and like you said, we are blessed enough to be able to do and go.
Well, and then us talking, I feel like all three of those conversations had ended with like, but on paper, the financial side of
Right.
that, we have to live.
Right.
Like, it's not
Yes.
all about money, but this is a
right,
job.
right.
Shit, on paper, it might look better than it did the years we did 200
Well, I don't know
shows.
if you were still in the lounge yesterday when Steve was talking, and I loved what he said was because I've known Garrett since he in the womb, talking about having Garrett, and which is their oldest. He's 8, and it was really kind of cool how Steve said, I am able to come home and stay home during the week where I am a dad, but in Garrett's eyes, he's like, in Delilah, the little, he's like, why are you leaving again, Dad? Why are you leaving? And this is how it just breaks his heart. And he said, Garrett's old enough to start to understand, and Garrett's they've always talked to him like an adult, and so when you can, but he's very in tune. And the fact that he said, when you do put it on paper and you do realize how much time I am home versus how much time I am gone, when a lot of parents are 8 to 5 and they're gone. Literally,
Yeah.
they're still in the same town, but they're gone all day long.
There were so many
when
things
you turn
in
it
that-
around and you think about it that way, which
There were so many things in that podcast yesterday that I was just like standing over there
I
listening.
loved it.
And
Same.
I'm like, I got nothing to say because everything they said with Randy, everything they said with Casey, like Casey saying going and getting Zane and taking him to lunch every day. Towns texts us every day, but I'm a rule follower. Mama's not. Yeah. And I'm like, son, we're so much alike. We're not supposed to check you out, but I'll go do it. And I make sure he understands. I'm like, a lot of these kids don't get to do this.
No.
My father, there's been times I'll go to eat lunch with the twins, and my dad will just randomly call. Yeah. And he's like, Marty, what are you doing? So, heading, grab some Chick-fil-A, heading to meet the twins for lunch. First words, well, shit, I never got to do that. See? I was always on job site.
Yeah, I'm sitting here, like, this is making me think.
Well, Dad, good thing I'm comfortable being poor.
I don't know that I ever had lunch with a parent.
No, we didn't.
Never. No, I mean, I never even really thought about that.
Her dad was in construction, and her mother was a school teacher.
Mm-hmm. My mom worked
things are just different. And
sun up to sundown.
In June, we took our camper and we traveled for 29 days. And I made sure to tell the boys, like, hey, I'm telling her that I'm, being very mother henning, watching our finances, like being smart and trying not to let the kids know or hear about that. But I was trying to make sure that, that the boys knew how fortunate we are. Right. That, like, we might not have a boat. We might not have a swimming pool in the backyard. Right. But look what we're getting to do. Right. Uncle Lynn doesn't get to do this. Aunt Callie doesn't get to do this. Nana and Pawpaw don't get to do this. Gigi and Pops don't get to, like, there's a beauty. And I forget about that sometimes. Yeah. Because of financial strain as a father, as the patriarch of the family, there's some worries, some fears. And then when you're doing art, Josh and I were talking about it yesterday, it's like, shit, man, you need to focus on your audience, but who's my audience? I'm be 48. A lot of audiences, 25. I don't know what you want to hear about. Right. And then I can't write songs like that. So then you got all these struggles and all this mental just yah going on in your head instead of just do.
Just do Bart.
Wade kind of touched on that last night when he sang the song, the Merle Haggard song, where he's like, call this my best attempt at being Merle Haggard. Right. And he made a comment that, like, this is the stuff we don't always show, this vulnerable side of this and the pain of it. And at the end of it, I was like, okay, that was my favorite song ever. Yes. And it was so beautiful and so poignant. It was also so insightful, but also I was like, I feel like so many musicians can relate to that. And not even just musicians, just artists and humans at a certain point in time where it's like you're trying to do these things for a certain reason, but also you're also dealing with a lot of demons behind the closed door.
Right. And if you're like me, I tell her, I say, I get myself in these vices because I'll reach out to someone else that's in music. Right. And kind of ask for direction. And they'll give me that direction. And in the moment, it's like, wow, that was a good conversation. And then I leave like, I don't know how to do that. Yeah. I don't know how to not just be me. I had a friend of mine I'm leaning on a lot right now. He goes, you don't need to write another love song. They're all out there. Yeah. You've done that. Yeah. You need to focus on this part of your life. And I'm like, cool. And I even told her, I was like, that was one of the best conversations I've had. Yeah. Hell yeah. I was like a big brother giving me. Yes. And then I go to pen and paper. I'm like, fuck, I don't know how to do that. Right. I mean, it's. Now I've put another variable in my head to try to be something that's not just natural.
Sounds like there's a lot like scary in here. Yeah.
Dude, you have no idea.
There's some real weird shit going on in here. Yeah.
You have no idea the shit I can make complex.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be.
I am.
Even this friend of mine that I'll leave his name because a lot of us know him and we do records with him, but he's just like, it doesn't have to be that hard. No. I'm like, I don't know how to not to be. Yeah. Because if it starts being easy, then I'm like, then must not be good. Right. Yeah. So, I don't know.
I was sewing curtains for the bus I was telling you guys about earlier at my resort, and I had these random patterns, and I went to Nick, my assistant, and I said, hey, what do you think about this? And she was like, I don't get anything. And I was like, yes, that's perfect. That's exactly. And so now when I ask her anything, and she's like, she was like, what are you even talking about? I mean, this girl goes everywhere with me, and she had to hold the fort down because she had to, otherwise she'd be right here. But I said, if you would have said, oh, I can totally see this, I would have thrown it all. I've been, oh shit, I gotta go. I'm going back. I'm gonna go sit down in my corner. I'm gonna think about what I'm doing right now, because that is. So now when I say anything, she's like, nope, I have no clue. And I'm like, ugh. And she's like, but then I'll be done. And she's like, I totally saw that. I was like, no, you didn't. Did
Liar.
you really? Did
Liar.
you really see it? And then if I think she's being sincere, she knows I will just shred it. I'm like, nope, forget it. If you even remotely had any clue what I was going to do.
I have a friend of mine that used to tell me.
Just say, fuck it. Just roll with it.
I think that's what I end up doing.
Yeah.
But I have to go through all this shit to get there.
I'm getting better about it. I really am getting a lot better about it.
T-Bay used to say, you're the guy that wants to be invited to the party and not go. And he goes, and I mean that with your music.
That is so true.
With other festivals.
I get my feelings
like
hurt. Like, I didn't know.
Yeah, and he's like, and then you show up and you just bitch about it the whole time under your breath. I'm like,
I pull up and I go, whoop, whoop. Did she know that she put that right there?
Hey, we
gonna bother me.
We played a festival a few years ago.
And it's going to look so much better. Yeah.
We played a festival a few years ago that I hadn't been a part of for a while, and I talked to my manager, and now we're playing it. And then we get there, and I'm just like, just mad because I had to beg for passes for my wife and my child. And then you're backstage, and there's a ton of people who don't play music.
That have no idea what they're doing back there.
But we figured out what it was. Yeah. I was also reading Catcher in the Rye. And I was just in this woe is me, fuck the world kind of attitude. And we got left, and I'm like, we actually had a really good time. Yeah. Like, that was a lot of fun. But in the moment, I was just like...
You mean like some Mary Poppins or something.
Yeah. I was like Hayden Cawthorne just sitting there just like, look at these bastards.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, let me see your wristband.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are you? Yeah, that's crazy. So, I love this. Is my first time to this festival, which has been to.
Me too.
Been to.
This is my inaugural trip to Boots on the Beach.
This is so cool.
I've told Casey and Melinda multiple times because I sometimes can get sappy. Casey's not the sappiest guy, but I made sure they heard it from me. Like just from the moment we got our flights.
Yes.
The way that they made sure every artist was on good booking. I mean, they put us all in first class. Like that just says so like a tip of the hat. Right. Of like, we're glad you're here.
Right.
And then this beautiful place. And then they, we got to go to an artist party at a house, and just the way that they treat. Like I have such a and I've known Casey 20 years.
Right.
We used to flip-flop, open for me, I'd open for him.
Yeah.
Things are a little better for him than me now, but we've always been friends.
I was getting him water and things. It was good.
We've always been friends. And then to come here, and he's kind of the boss. Well, Melinda's the boss. We
know what you meant, but it's okay.
Working for
She's
them.
Sitting right here, too.
We are working for them, and just the way that, like, this is the only festival, and I've played fantastic festivals.
Yeah.
But it's usually come go, get in, get out, be here at this time, get your shit, get out, play your show.
Yeah.
And just the hospitality and the kindness and just the, yes, a lot of it is quirks, not quirks,
perks.
Perks. Thank you.
That's usually not my gig. That's what Kel does too. That's why I have a dictionary, because I got my own vocabulary.
The perks that they've given, but it's like, damn. Feels good to be appreciated. Right. They're just not cattle.
So well thought through.
Yes.
So well executed.
I agree a million%.
And they don't have to do that. Like it could have been, coach airfare. It could have been a shuttle bus from the airport. Right. And we would have still been happy.
Yeah.
But that they've taken the time to go above and beyond. Be like, hey, we want to treat our guests the way we wish every festival was treated. Right. And I've told them both multiple times. Like that is pretty. It's damn incredible.
And
it is.
Very not kind. Just for the artists, but for the guests. I feel the same. I feel like everything is really thought through. There's something for people to do all the time.
Yes.
And everybody, you can feel
that,
the same
and to make sure we're all intermingling.
Yes.
That it's not like a typical stage festival.
Right.
Where, hey, we got this festival, and whoever's putting it on, we tried to pick the best bands we could, but you're not going to get to hang out with them. You're not going to get to meet them.
Right.
And I think that what Brooke just said, like the cornhole tournament, the karaoke thing, the concerts, the artists going out and visiting.
I love that you guys get to be artists and fans at the same time here.
That's really cool.
It is really, really cool. And it's really cool being able to see you guys being able to do that. Because I've been in a bunch of festivals, and I've been that person backstage, and I know a bunch of them. I mean, it's our hometown. Well, Green's in my backyard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
when it's festivals like that, then you take a band like me, being a dad. Hey, we play at 4. we're done by 5.
Yeah.
Shit, we're on the road.
We're gone.
By 5:30, we're heading home.
I mean, it's boom, boom, boom. Yeah,
let's go home or make some headway to the next gig.
Right.
Because we can't go out front or it's not an option. So it's like, well, we'll go do our part. Boom, let's go. Yeah. We got places to be.
Yes, and I've been very, very impressive, and I feel the same as you guys. I mean, it's really, really cool to be able to see.
And the people who are here, I love it too, because like it took a lot for them to spend hard-earned money to be here, so everyone wants to be here. So like night before last, after I played, and then after Casey and Tyler finished, I stood there and I was telling her when we went to the room, I'm like, man, I just got some of the nicest people come up and say some of the nicest things to me, that I'm going to take that energy home and write some damn songs and not have this imposter syndrome and this isn't good enough. Like, people said some of the kindest things to me.
That's so cool.
And
I can't wait for fans to hear that when they watch the show, to know that those words inspire you
have
guys
no idea. When people
to write songs.
When people will be like, hey, please don't stop what you're doing, then it's like, you have no idea how many times I've contemplated that.
See, and I feel that hardcore, and it's that way with my resort. You know, we're only open 3 months out of the year, but I'm very hands-on with that place, and I'm there. When I'm not there on a weekend, my guests, they become my family. They're there. They plan a year in advance. They come every single year. They'll come. They book a year ahead of time. I had one guy that just booked 2 years ahead of time, and I've never done that. And he was like, please. And
that's awesome.
It's what keeps, because the riffraff and this is what I deal with at home every single weekend. I was like, Lord, is he wearing that outfit? This is just a salty version of the Guad is what I'm at right now with you guys being here. And it's just kind of, because I kept telling Steve, I said, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to go down there when you guys, they're in my hometown. This is what we do. And 2 days prior to, he said, get your ass on a fucking plane. And I was like, oh, don't yell at me. First of all.
Now I have to.
God, all right, fine. Let me talk to Renee. Get her on the phone. Yeah. So, and then, fine, I'm coming. Okay, fine. And so then boom, here I am. And man, it's been a totally different vibe. It's been a totally different aspect of watching people hang out and see, and you being able to grab that. And I'm thinking, what's different here versus what I see at home all the time is people do spend their hard-earned money, and they save, and they're doing this at a year in advance, which they do the same thing at my place, but they catch fucking stupid when they get off I-10, and I'm the one that's got a grown man by his neck, and I'm like, so you planned a year in advance
to come down here and be an ass.
And whoop your cousin's ass.
Yeah.
This is what you planned on doing on my turf, on my home,
right.
that I have organized, and I have scraped the
This
rocks.
is the Peace Palace.
Yes,
we don't do
what
that
are
shit.
you doing? They're like, I'm so... And I was
Alcohol's
like, now
a hell of
snot
a drug.
coming out of your face.
Now
What
you're
the
crying,
fuck
you're
are you
apologizing
doing? I'm not letting you wipe this on my shirt. You're 40 some odd years old.
Alcohol's a hell of a drug.
Think about your freaking choices. And I was just telling the kids the other day, I said, I haven't had to break up one fight. And
I haven't seen it either.
And I've been the first one that jumped in there and goes, God damn it.
No, I think KCD would probably escort them to the front porch.
He'd probably have to be right behind me going, where did she come from? I'm sorry, this is what I do. It's
now
just
I
a
kinda
natural.
wanna see it.
Oh, yeah. It's a full-on thing. I was jumped into the middle of 30 of them 2 weekends ago, and I was like, you were going to go sit over here. And this dude one of them was 4 times my size. I mean, looked like freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, because most people, I think,
I was like, and he was like, what?
Well, I think
Yeah.
most
His
people
wife
probably
was like,
have.
I've never seen him react like that. I was like, well, I mean, I did kick him in the balls first, so I had to bring him down to get down here so you can listen
Well, I
to the
think most
words that are
people
coming out of my mouth.
have goodness in them.
Yeah,
And
but
that
you do not
fucking
want to
alcohol,
see them.
man.
Oh my God!
If you can't handle it, don't
Seriously,
fucking drink it.
me and Kel had one episode. We talk about it. We talk about the shit that happens on the resort. I mean, I had one girl bite fingers off of the damn bride. I mean, it's a whole thing. And
have you ever met my sister?
Well,
sorry,
she is
sorry,
kind
Tammy.
of from a different.
Sorry, Tammy.
She is from one of them little hometowns in Texas. I'm not going to mention any names, but east side of the Texas word.
Yeah, I and even getting to hear, like you were saying, not being like, I've heard 10 Casey songs that I have never heard this week, and Randy and Wade and Mike and Josh and. Yeah, we all know each other, but we don't get to hear that. So that's been inspiring to hear, like, that's a cool song. It might give me an idea to pull from their art to go be inspired this way. And then meeting the fans, and everybody's so damn nice. And it's like, that to me, for the Virgo brain in me, it's like encouragement. Like, okay, you still got a little something. You like quit.
They still love me out
yourself.
there. I mean, I get to see. Yeah,
I sit on the balcony. I'm like, God, thank you. Like,
right.
I guess sometimes I need the pat on the back.
Right.
I wish I was one of those guys like, I don't care what anybody thinks. No, I give a shit.
No, I am one of those that I absolutely do. I get
and
my
Josh and I were talking about like,
I'm sensitive.
From like you building your resort and opening to the public.
Yes.
We take something that does not exist on this entire planet.
Right.
It does, in this universe, it does not exist.
Right.
It comes from our effed up brains.
Yeah.
And especially, I'll throw myself under the bus, especially not being the greatest guitar player ever. So now I got to come up with a melody, a hook, these lines, tell a story, a believable story, if not a true story. And that's a lot of pressure. And then you throw it out there.
Yeah.
And when people love it, it is like you could conquer the world.
Right.
But when they don't, and I'm just like Steve.
Yeah.
I could have 50 beautiful messages and someone else be like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh.
Same.
Oh, my God. Like Joe Rogan always says, he posts and ghosts. And I'm like, I can't. I want to.
Yeah.
I really
I got a message
to.
yesterday on something that somebody else said. It had nothing to do with me, whatever. And literally, I was like, is that? What who are they talking about?
Yeah, I'm the same. But what I'll do, I did
wear
this.
that.
I did this one time whenever.
You wanted me, my hair was in doo-doo balls.
I was.
Yeah.
I was in a clinic, my testosterone clinic.
Right, I'm so glad you clarified that, because she's sitting right here.
No, right when the pandemic started.
Yeah.
And they put a sign up, please wear a mask. And some dude was just wrecking this secretary. And she was 17.
Bless her
I finally
heart.
went up there. I'm like, hey, buddy.
Oh, come on.
Pump your fucking brakes.
Yes.
Wear the mask or don't wear the mask.
Right.
But this young girl, she's my niece's age.
Right.
This isn't cool. And then, of course, he started berating me. But I'm like, fuck you, bro.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not a little
don't
guy.
make me take my mask off.
And, and so when
I'll
things
throw it
started
too.
when things started opening up, I just made a post one time. I'm like, hey, if somebody asks you to wear it, don't give these young
be a
children.
dick.
Just everybody's
Yeah,
trying.
exactly.
We're all trying to get back to. And dude, I got fucking eat up. But one guy, I killed him with kindness. He was a shit
that so
talker,
fun?
and I went back, and then he kept calling me a libtard, and I'm like, no, man, it's not that. Just like, I've got a niece that's trying to work.
It is, yeah.
And
yeah.
next thing you know,
she's just doing
he's
her
like,
job, and she's 17, and she has one. And those are, first of all, let's talk about that for a minute. And work ethic is
And then
gone.
15 exchanges later, he goes, yeah, I guess I overreacted, man. I can't wait to see you again when you come to Oklahoma. And I'm like, dude, you didn't know.
So that is that is every client at my resort.
That,
they hate me so much, and then they get there and they're like, I'm so sorry, I emailed that to you. And I was like, first of all, that's my daughter-in-law that you thought you was talking to me, because everything says Tiffany. And no, if you were talking to me, I'd have told you right out. Don't even, in fact, cancel everything. Don't even put your socks in your
I try to
suitcase.
kill with
You're not
kindness,
coming.
and then when they're like, I'm sorry, I'm like, oh, don't be sorry. You said what you wanted to say.
Yeah.
Own it.
It was stupid.
Stand by it.
Yeah.
But like,
it was very, very hateful and rude, and I'm in therapy still, but we're going to get past that. We're going to get past it. It's fine.
You were a dick. Don't get me wrong.
Right,
but,
yeah. I do agree.
But, stand your ground. If you say something, fucking own it.
Yeah.
But you can also, these are called opinions.
Right.
We can
You're
all
entitled
move
to one.
and change,
Yeah.
move and change.
That's right.
I don't wear the same clothes I wore 15 years ago. I think different. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay to wake up this morning and think this way and meet somebody and be like, I never thought about that.
Right.
And then think this way.
Yeah.
Believe me, a lot of thought process has been different coming from Maypearl, Texas, and marrying this lovely lady.
Yeah.
So, just everybody be cool.
I know.
Just love.
I know.
Scripture says love is the greatest thing.
It is.
What was it? And the greatest of these is love. So, if you're not balancing your life through that, don't get me wrong, we can still get like Casey and I. Casey's like Ellis County and Johnson County. They butt up together. I'm like, that's why we're like this, baby.
Right.
That's why we are like we are.
One of my best friends I've known for a very long time. Has been in the music business for 30 years, and he just got off the road for the first time in 30 years. And we've known each other, and his family is literally like you were talking about with the little in New Braunfels, and how that's kind of your family and what have you. Yeah. So it's kind of that way with me and Brooks, and I'm the man of the house. I'm the one with the drills and the tools, and I'm building and doing all the things. And he is a Milwaukee guy, and I'm a DeWalt girl.
I'm a DeWalt guy.
See,
I'm with you.
I just freaking love you. But yeah, and so we have these. Randomly, he'll send me a screenshot. It'll be him watching some hot rod thing, and he'll go, "Do you see that tool?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, right." And then you just had this conversation. Literally, there's like 2 seconds into the thing, the camera moves this way, and I was like, did you see what is the other guy over there or whatever he was building? I was like, you see all that yellow? Yeah, did you? Because that's my people right there. Yeah, we just go. And then he sent me this confrontation deal, like a meme or whatever the hell those things are called. And it's with the DeWalt and the Milwaukee. I was like, okay, stop. Is that what we're going to do today? I literally had like just landed. And I was like, all right, now you're going to get me all fired up. Yeah. I'm going to go ask the guys that work here, what kind of tools are you using back here? Yeah.
In 2021.
What are y'all using, Cabo? Yeah.
In 2021, we bought a camper and traveled for 6 months. And I put in this system in the back of my truck called a deck system.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. My kids have a custom shop.
And if you open it up, it's just yellow and black.
So
everything.
Can you send me a screenshot of that if you don't mind, please?
I have my favorite tool, because a friend of mine said every day before y'all pull that camper, check your tires.
Yes.
And I have a DeWalt air compressor.
Same.
Battery power.
Same.
So every night I have 4 battery packs.
Yep.
And they're on the counter.
Yes.
I charge all 4. I have a DeWalt battery powered fan. So when we're boondocking, I've got that fan.
Wish we had it right now.
And it takes
next year we're bringing
it. Takes 2 batteries.
Let me know. I'll bring mine, or you can bring yours, or whatever. Yeah.
Yes. I've got the impact wrench, the drill, the air compressor is my favorite, and that fan. Woo.
Epic. The little radio, and then I have my little flashlight that I use.
Oh, I've got the gooseneck flashlight.
Yes.
I got the spotlight.
Same.
I've got the vacuum cleaner.
I know, you do.
Tripod thing. And
I've got the handheld vacuum cleaner for inside the camper.
It's so good.
Yes.
Oh, it makes me happy. Did y'all hear that? DeWalt. It's 2 of us right here. Yeah. Give us a
hookup.
Seriously, we've been talking. Kel goes
Brooks is not going to want to listen to this.
Oh, no. I'm going to make him watch it on repeat. And then what he said was his whole back of his truck is yellow and black. Kel goes picking all the time and get Goodwills and all the garaging and what have you.
They probably brushing shoulders.
She brought me a shirt the other day. It was a DeWalt. Somebody had a DeWalt t-shirt. She's walked in and it was sitting, because she's got the passcode. She comes and goes out of the house all the time, and it's sitting on the back of the counter. And Nick, my assistant, comes in and she goes, is this... Never mind, did Kel get this for you? And I was like, yeah, and it's so cool. She's like, only you would get so excited about some old dude's freaking DeWalt t-shirt. And I was like, do you feel that it's heavy cotton? It's a really nice, yes.
They care.
They do.
DeWalt cares.
They do. They're so, yes.
Oh, I'll lose one drill tip. Be like,
I gotta go
get the 36 piece.
For real. Yeah.
Yeah.
They send me the sale things, or I just go through, because I'm a Home Depot person. I'm the one that sits on the floor. They all think I work there. I've got my boots on, whatever, and I can tell everybody what bay, aisle 11. A little to the left. Sometimes they shove the other boxes behind there, but I know exactly where it is. And but I will do a flyby right through the. And I'm looking. What y'all got? Something new?
Right.
Looking.
Ooh, hadn't seen this before.
I don't know what it does, but I probably should use it for something. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. I'll take 2 just in case I lose the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you should.
I know. Yeah. That's awesome. Well.
Thank you.
Taking away so much from this festival, especially after this talk. That just is a whole nother.
This is fantastic, and we can't wait to come to your
yes,
place.
you have to. You guys are not that far away.
Hit the river a lot.
We need to hug Kel a lot.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell her thank you.
Well, we will do a frog pond day. We will, and it's okay because we're very sensitive. But we will tell the whole world exactly where they can stick it at the same time. But we will. Why we have tears rolling down our face? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, we
Shut
will.
up.
Exactly. Don't say that to me. Yeah. But no, we definitely will. We are going to. We're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
And I can't
wait. We're going to come see you. You're going to be like, crows, please leave.
To see those 2 kids destroy something together. We're gonna leave them at the resort, so I can. We're gonna do it either up top of where my acreage is with all my animals. I don't know if your boys love animals, but there's not too many that I don't have. I've got from camels to zebras to monkeys to you name it.
And don't listen to her.
It's a good time. Yeah, it's a really good time.
We would own a zoo if we.
I do.
If
I
we
do
didn't
own
live in
one.
downtown Austin.
I do. Yeah.
We're just supposed to be friends.
Yeah, Rowan has been chasing goats since he came out of the womb, and I mean, he can get in there and snatch him by the leg. Like, hey, Gypsy, I got this one. I was like,
love it.
It looks so cute with legs. Could you please put it down, Rowan? That's so good. But don't. And they'll come out there, and he's one of those that's got his whole costume, and he's fully dressed, and he looks like Woody, and he's got his little his gun and his holster and his rope, and he's going in there and doesn't give a damn. He's gonna catch my cow, and I'm like, don't catch that one.
Hydrate before we hang with you.
It does. Kel says,
crying.
stretch and hydrate. You gotta stretch and hydrate. I'm like, but I'm trying. I'm too old for this shit. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So, y'all, thank you
you
so much.
Thank you very much.
So much. It was an absolute pleasure, and it was so good to finally get to
Pleasure's
meet
ours.
you guys and face to face. And I've seen you in passing, and I've always been a huge fan. And
thank you.
Keep doing what you do. Keep doing what you do.
Right back at you.
Yeah.
Yes, please
Hell
do.
Yeah. We're gonna make some stories.
Yes, ma'am.
Make some memories.
Have a wonderful day today.
You
and we
too.
will see you all around this place.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks to Casey and Melinda.
Yes, very
Boots
much
on
so.
the Beach. Cabo is phenomenal.
And DeWalt.
Everything here is, and DeWalt for putting this Airstream together. Yes, and
we also have a
we
white
could
trash
install.
party we have to head to.
That's
so
right.
We all have to go get
White
that.
trash. We're about to get
Melinda
real
texted me
trashy.
that, and I'm like, so basically, being from Maypro, I just need to get out of bed and get dressed. Like, I think we've got
just
that.
roll out. Yeah. Throw your boots on.
No costumes needed.
No. It's some things just come natural.
That's
And
it.
this festival is
hairline
literally
grows
yeah.
to a point. It
There you
just
go.
does.
There you go. Well, thank you guys.
Thanks, honey.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Let's
Have a
let's
great
do
day.
what we do. You too.
Yes,
you too.
ma'am.
Safe travels home, and I guess I'll catch you on the flip side.